Wondering what the difference is between being furloughed and laid off? They're not the same thing. But by the end of this video, you'll know the difference between furloughs and layoffs and how they can affect your pay, health insurance, and ability to receive unemployment. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button below and subscribe. And be sure to hit that bell button too so that you never miss another tip again. And if you recently got furloughed or laid off, be sure to look out for this video after this one for tips on what to do next. My name is Jamie Hammond, and this is Speak, Grow, Rise, where I share tips to help young professionals like you speak, grow, and rise. After working through the 2008 financial crisis and the coronavirus and between, I've seen that job security is never guaranteed, and companies often resort to layoffs and furloughs in times of financial hardship. So let's understand the difference between furloughs and layoffs by learning what they both are and how they're different when it comes to pay, health insurance, and employment benefits. Let's get started. First, what's the difference? Let's go over the definitions of both. A layoff is a permanent termination of the relationship between you and your employer. You're not kept on payroll. The big difference between a layoff and being fired, however, is that a layoff usually has nothing to do with the employee's personal performance. It's usually due to company restructuring or downsizing, often in response to other reasons we'll mention next. A furlough is a mandatory temporary unpaid leave. The emphasis here is on temporary, as in your employer is keeping the door open for you to come back when the business is able to bring you back on. You may also be the first to be reinstated, rather than the company going back to the hiring pool. Companies choose to furlough employees in times of financial hardship or a response to change in customer demand, seasonality, or market share. Basically, when employees are furloughed, the company chooses to keep them on payroll. They're just on unpaid leave. Furloughs are recommended to last less than a year, and a company can choose to switch from furlough to layoff at any time during that furlough. So, TLDR, layoffs, you're done working there. Furloughs, you might get to go back to work there, you're just not getting paid in the meantime. Were you recently laid off or furloughed? Or are you worried that that might happen to you? Let me know in the comments below. Now that we understand the difference between furloughs and layoffs, let's talk about how they affect pay, health insurance, and unemployment. First, pay. For a layoff, the employee is essentially terminated, which triggers final pay requirements like a final paycheck and vacation payout, if you have that. For furloughed workers, they usually do not get a final paycheck or vacation payout because they're technically still employed. This varies by state, however, so it's best to look into your state's policies on this subject to understand how furloughs can affect you. Next, health insurance. When you're laid off, you're basically politely fired, so you no longer have access to the same health insurance you once had. Instead, you'll have the option for signing up for COBRA, or the Consolidated Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act, which allows eligible employees and their dependents continued benefits of the health insurance coverage after a loss of employment or reduced hours. The cost of COBRA is usually high though, because you'll be responsible for the entire cost of the health insurance you were enjoying while employed, that your employer may have been paying. While you're furloughed, you may still have access to the same health insurance benefits you enjoyed while being paid. This varies by state, however, so be sure to look up the laws for furloughs and health insurance in your state to learn more. Should the furlough go long enough, which again varies by state, that period of time could trigger the same COBRA benefits mentioned previously. Also, if you lost your job during the coronavirus of 2020, either due to a layoff or furlough, you may be eligible for special enrollment period, which could get you cheaper insurance than COBRA. Finally, unemployment benefits. Though unemployment benefits differ by state, you are eligible for unemployment benefits in the way of weekly payouts from the government, whether you were furloughed or laid off in most cases. It's important you file for unemployment as soon as possible so that you can get a good idea of what your finances will be. Whether you were laid off or furloughed, or worried you might be, I recommend further research about either case in your state so that you can be prepared. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you learned the difference between furloughs and layoffs and how you might be affected in either case. Be sure to like this video and subscribe so that you never miss another Speak, Grow, Rise tip again. And check out other videos for more career and management tips. I'll see you in the next video.